Today, I will be reviewing Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Now, I'm just gonna say this right off the bat, I do actually like this movie. I know, surprise, surprise, even though if many people do not like this movie, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. You want me to tell you why I like this movie? First off, it's just too cheesy just to like. It's just so crazy, it goes all over the place. I just like it so much. And I know many of you people can call me controversial for liking this movie, but it's fine because it's my own opinion, and at the end of the day, I'm just having fun with this movie at this point because it's just so just a wild ride to watch it. And it's fine if you hate the movie, because I'm definitely okay with that. And I know many of you are probably shocked that I do like this movie, but I'm not just gonna lie to you and say that I hate this movie, because I think I would be a little bit, I don't know, upset that I say that I hate this movie, even though if I truly like this movie. So yeah, like I said before, it is fine to have different opinions, because, well, yeah, this might be pretty surprising that I say that I like this movie, but whatever, I guess. So yeah, with that out of the way, this movie is, well, not the final nightmare at all. They say it's the final nightmare, but it is not. There are more Nightmare on Elm Street movies, so yeah, it is not the final nightmare. But I feel like this movie starts to go full on Looney Tunes with Freddy Krueger, full on cheesy, whatever he's doing with these creative kills and all. And it's pretty crazy. Freddy Krueger is crazy in this movie. With it just feels so cheesy, but at the same time I do like it. And like I said before, countless times, it is fine to have your own opinion. So yeah, even if I do like this movie and some people don't, it's fine, because, I just like expressing my own opinion. So, yeah, that's basically what I have to say about this cheesy, crazy movie. So, let me review this movie. The movie begins with a quote, because why not? Oh, hey, at least they used the best quote in this franchise, so that's good. Okay, so apparently this movie begins with a dark opening. So get this, apparently all of the miners in Springwood are wiped out entirely, and then there's only one surviving teenager. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I do like this movie, but oh my god, that was a dark opening. That's crazy. The surviving teenager is John Doe, who is, well, apparently on a plane, and he's scared. And then we gotta have this woman talking to him, which, well, she's pretty rude, but yeah, she gets sucked out of an airplane, which is pretty crazy and random. And then after that, well, what do you know? John Doe then, falls. Which, yes, is the surviving teenager, John Doe. But apparently he wakes up in his bed. So, well, of course, we all know that was a dream. Because, well, of course you gotta have a Nightmare on Elm Street movie with dreams. I mean, it makes sense. But as soon as John Doe gets up from his bed, well, his house starts shaking, apparently. And then apparently his house is falling down to the ground while the Wizard of Oz theme is playing. And then we get to see Freddy as a witch? Well, I mean, I guess that's a nice reference to the Wizard of Oz or something. Oh my god, this is pretty random already. John's house then lands on Elm Street, and then he sees, well, he wants to go on a bus, but this guy tells him that, I don't know, creepy things, apparently, and then he, smashes onto this bus while Freddy's talking to him, because, that's just how Freddy Krueger is these days. Well, I mean, back then with his humor. And then John falls into, I don't know, well, daylight or so. Yeah, I don't really know, but I guess it's a cool fact, I guess. It's already crazy that this movie is starting off pretty random with all these, creepy, weird dreams, but I'm in for it, whatever it is. Because Freddy Krueger is just so crazy. Now we apparently made it to this shelter place, which kind of reminds me of, that, I don't know, shelter place in, Halloween. Wait, no, not Halloween. This has nothing to do with Halloween. I mean, A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that from A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I have no idea why I just said Halloween. Probably because I am also doing reviews on the Halloween franchise as well. But yeah, this is a part of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, not the Halloween franchise. Our main character of this movie is Maggie. And I do think Maggie is a pretty cool character. And then we get to meet this other character named Spencer, who, well, is obsessed with playing video games because, well, of course. We then get to meet this other character named Doc, and he's a pretty cool character. Well, at least I think he is, because he is obsessed with, well, like nightmares and dream stuff. You know, like all the Freddy Krueger stuff. So yeah, he's pretty obsessed with that. Also, the actor who does play Doc was previously seen in Alien. You know, that movie that was really amazing back then. And still is to this day. And apparently Doc has this poster of ancient dream demons, which we will see later on in the movie, for sure. We then get to meet Tracy, who is obsessed with, well, punching bags, and then this character named Carlos, who apparently is deaf with a hearing aid. These cops then find John Doe and then, well, put him into, well, Maggie's office. And then John Doe shouts at Maggie about all the, well, Freddy Krueger stuff. And then, well, apparently doesn't want to go to sleep because we all know. And then apparently Maggie finds a piece of paper which says Krueger woman is still missing. I wonder what this all means. And then we get this random scene where Maggie is sleeping, and then she has a dream about, something from the past. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll find that later on in the movie. John Doe then goes to sleep and then finds, the same little girl from Maggie's dream. And apparently John is going up on visible stairs. I mean, I get it, dreams aren't supposed to make sense, so, yeah. And apparently John then sees another version of himself. That's really weird. John Doe then says he dreamed the same little girl, which Maggie did, apparently, and then Doc tells him to have a road trip. And apparently he told the others to have a road trip so they can remember where, John Doe came from. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, except that is a ridiculous idea, but okay, sure. John and Maggie are now on a road trip, and then, well, after that, they do get to see the same little girl, and then apparently, well, the van starts to crash, so, yeah, that's crazy. And then it's revealed that Spencer, Tracy, and Carlos are also on the road trip as well, so apparently they were hiding so Maggie and John wouldn't notice. I mean, that's pretty confusing to say, but okay. So yeah, apparently the van then drives into the Springwood Fair, which actually looks pretty cool. I like fairs. So yeah, our other characters are now at the fair, and not gonna lie, some of it kind of looks like a ghost town, to be honest, most of the fair. But apparently Spencer is like calling someone, and then we get these random people who want to take Tracy and Carlos home, which is kind of confusing, I must say. I mean, like, what the heck at this point, but okay, I guess. So yeah, Spencer, Carlos, and Tracy then go back into the van, apparently, while John and Maggie are, well, searching around the town. So yeah, Carlos, Spencer, and Tracy are now in the van, and apparently they're, well, driving around town. So yeah, they drive around the town, and apparently they are going in circles. Didn't we already do that in A Nightmare on Elm Street 4? Sure, why not do it again? So yeah, apparently there are lots of maps around Carlos, and then, yeah, I don't even know what's going on here at this point. But apparently Carlos is having dreams about maps at this point. Oh my god. Maggie and John then find, well, chalk of Freddy Krueger, and then they make their way into this abandoned classroom with this crazy teacher talking about the history of Freddy Krueger. I mean, sure, why not? What the heck? And why do we have something about the atomic bomb or something on this chalkboard? I don't think this has anything to do with Freddy Krueger at all. Yeah, this movie can be very confusing, not gonna lie, but I still like this movie, and I know that's pretty controversial to some people, so moving on. So yeah, the other characters are tired of driving in circles, and then Tracy then finds this random house, and then kicks down the door to get some sleep. Tracy, why did you kick down a random house? There could be a random person sleeping there. Oh my god, I would not feel safe if you kicked down my house door, Tracy, at this point. But apparently that wasn't just a random house. Well, it was, of course, the Elm Street house. Oh my god, this is so amazing. Let's go! Carlos then makes his way upstairs and then onto this dirty bed. Yeah, you're definitely going to get bed bugs on you. Carlos is now in the dream world, and then he gets to see his mom, who is being mean to him. But wait, that's not his mom. It is Freddy Krueger. Oh my god. So he puts this, like, cotton swab into his ear, which I think should kill him. It went all the way through his brain, but apparently that's not going to happen. So he takes out the cotton swab. Then Freddy Krueger cuts off his ear. Well, we already know he's already deaf, but I guess he cut off his other ear. And then Carlos then falls into this boiler room. Oh my god. And then after that, Freddy Krueger is trying to make some noise, but of course, you know Carlos is not going to hear him since, well, he already cannot hear. And then he breaks the fourth wall and tells the audience to, well, shh. And then apparently, well, his ear now has, like, this bug thing on him or whatever. So he tries to stop this water leaking because it sounds like, I don't know, a beating drum or something because he can't hear. So Freddy, like, drops this pin thing, and then a bunch of other pins, and then they all fall on him. That's crazy. And then Freddy gets to take out a chalkboard. But it goes long, and then he, like, tries to, like, scratch up the chalkboard. So he can just make Carlos go seriously insane.
Nice hearing from you, Carlos.
Tracy then checks on Carlos, but apparently his body disappeared. Shouldn't his body still be on the bed, even though if he did die? That makes no sense. But apparently Tracy then finds his hearing aid. That is very suspicious. Tracy then finds Spencer, and apparently Spencer is while watching a broken TV, but the ghost of Carlos appears on the TV and tells Spencer not to go to sleep, but he does go to sleep. Because, well, of course he's not just gonna listen to the ghost of Carlos. Of course he's just gonna fall asleep, because that's how it usually goes in these movies. Maggie and John are at now the Springwood Orphanage, and apparently we have this woman talking to invisible children, because why not? And then we get to find this paper of a drawing of, like, Freddy Krueger. Interesting. And then apparently John Doe thinks he's, like, the son of Freddy Krueger, which we already know he's not the son. But Maggie then tells John that that can't be possible, that he's not the son. Then who else is the son? Or who is the daughter of Freddy? Will we ever know in this movie? Well, you'll just have to find out later on in this movie review. Spencer is now watching the TV, and apparently we get a Johnny Depp cameo, and he was previously seen in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, who played Glenn. So I wonder if this is Glenn's spirit or so. I don't know, this is going all over the place, but if I had to guess, this is probably Glenn's spirit. But you never know, I could be 100% wrong. So yeah, apparently Freddy Krueger then appears on the TV, and then, well, Spencer now apparently is watching Freddy Krueger on the TV, and then we get this, like, random music video or something, and then Spencer ends up in the TV. What the heck is going on? Maggie, Tracy, and John then find that Spencer is missing. Well, of course, because Spencer is now in that TV. Well, turns out that Spencer is now in a video game with Freddy Krueger while having the controller. Oh my god, wow, this is random. But sure, why the heck not? How about I just show you all the one-liners in this video game? Why the heck not?
I'm playing with power.
Super Spencer!
Regret.
Apparently Spencer makes his way into the real world, and then we go full-on Looney Tunes, and then apparently Spencer's jumping. What the heck has this become? But hey, it's still ridiculous at the same time. So apparently Tracy knocks John out so he can go into the dream, and apparently Tracy's now in the dream too. And how did Tracy get into the dream? Well, apparently Tracy got into the dream by concentration meditation, and apparently she learned that by Doc. Wow, those are pretty interesting words, I must say. Tracy and John then sneak up on Freddy. Tracy then kicks the controller out of Freddy. Then Freddy uses the power glove. Because you just gotta use the power glove. Soon enough, Spencer then dies from falling down the same tunnel that was in A Nightmare on Elm Street 5. That was pretty interesting. And that was a pretty crazy scene. So yeah, apparently Spencer's soul goes into Freddy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Freddy just needs to chill out with his one-liners. I mean, come on. Tracy then kicks Freddy in the you-know-what, and then Tracy wakes up from her dream. Maggie, Tracy, and John then escape. Well, of course, he's still sleeping, but they're gonna try to wake him up by, well, escaping the town they were just in. John is now in a dream with fire, and then apparently escapes his house by jumping out, just kind of like the beginning. And now Freddy has a parachute, and apparently in the real world, he is up in the sky. And now we get to see Freddy Krueger, and then he confirms that he has a daughter, and that John is not his son. And then apparently he wants his daughter back, so, yeah. But it is too late for John because he falls all the way onto the ground onto a bunch of these bud spikes. Oh my god, that has to hurt. So yeah, then John dies and then his soul disappears. So yeah, his soul then goes right into Freddy. Freddy, why are you smiling like that? You look kind of funny, not gonna lie. Why is Freddy smiling like that? That looks so goofy. Freddy then says, it's traveling time! And then apparently he, like, disappears, and then goes straight into Maggie's head while we get some weird face movement from Maggie. And then Maggie and Tracy escape the dream world. Yeah! And that also means a bunch of glass breaks? Okay. Well, it makes sense. They were in the dream world, so now they're back in the normal world? Huh. This movie can be kind of confusing sometimes. Maggie is now back at the shelter place. Yay! And apparently Maggie then talks to her social worker, and apparently her social worker does not know anyone named Carlos, or anyone named John, or anyone named Spencer. I almost said sponsor. So apparently Freddy Krueger is basically erasing the memories so no one can remember, like, Carlos, Spencer, or John. Huh, that's weird. But apparently Doc does remember the other characters because he apparently controls his dreams. Huh? Maggie then has a flashback dream, and apparently it's revealed that Maggie is the daughter of Freddy Krueger. I know, surprise, surprise. And then we get to see Freddy Krueger, well, Robert Englund without his Freddy Krueger makeup. And then Maggie, well, little Maggie, then finds a bunch of Freddy Krueger gloves, which, well, of course, you know, Freddy Krueger was, like, making gloves back then. And of course I gotta give credit to Dead Meat. Oh my god, I hate when I accidentally, like, show this sometimes. But hey, of course I gotta give credit to what I show in this movie, because that I gotta show my respects. Credits will always be in the descriptions, just to let you know. So I can show my little full respect onto this film and what I'm showing it from. So apparently Maggie is now in her little girl outfit from the past. Huh. I mean, okay, lots of random things are happening at this point. Freddy Krueger then appears and then says he's gonna go after all the people who are in the shelter, and apparently we're going in circles, apparently. I don't know what's going on here. And then we get a scene where Freddy Krueger's like, every town is an Elm Street. And then we, well, of course, get to see, well, the Elm Street sign, because why the heck not? Tracy then has a dream and then gets to see her abusive father, which kind of sucks. Well, actually, absolutely sucks. And then she beats him up, and then we get to see, well, Freddy Krueger! And of course, we gotta have another one-liner.
This, bitch.
So yeah, Tracy beats the heck out of Freddy and then wakes up from her dream. Doc then encounters Freddy Krueger, then beats him up with a baseball bat, and then Freddy chops off his fingers and tells how many, like, times people try to kill Freddy Krueger, but of course he keeps on coming back. And you're probably wondering by this point, how the heck does Freddy keep on coming back? Well, it is revealed that the Dream People, the Dream Demons, you know, that poster that Doc has, those dream demons gave him power so he could keep on coming back to life and being powerful. So I guess that's what we know about Freddy Krueger. That is very interesting. Doc then grabs a piece of Freddy Krueger's sweater and then wakes up from his dream. And then we get to get this random scene in this movie.
Got a way to get him.
So what's the plan, Doc?
Wait, what the heck? Why did the movie just fade like that? What the heck? What? I mean, that is definitely confusing. So apparently Doc says to Maggie and Tracy that they can stop Freddy and bring him into the real world since Doc did pull a piece of Freddy's sweater. So apparently that's what's going to happen in this movie. So yeah, we then get a scene where Maggie is going to sleep so she can bring Freddy Krueger into the real world. So yeah, Maggie is now in the dream, and then she puts on some 3D glasses so she can get some Freddy vision, and then she gets to see a picture of the dream demons, and then she goes right into Freddy Krueger's brain while the Wizard of Oz music is playing. You know, when Freddy Krueger was that witch in the beginning. Oh, cool, and we also get to see the dream demons in this movie. Why the heck not? So yeah, apparently Maggie has seen a bunch of flashbacks of Freddy Krueger's past. Okay, I guess. So yeah, now Maggie has seen the past of how Freddy Krueger got burned up. You know how it usually goes. And apparently the dream demons are talking to him that he will be immortal forever. So yes, I guess that's how Freddy Krueger gets burnt up. That's pretty interesting. So yeah, we get another flashback of how we get to see how Freddy Krueger killed Maggie's mom, which is pretty dark, I gotta say. And apparently Maggie finds Freddy Krueger and then puts him in, well, tries to bring him into the real world. So yeah, he's probably in the real world now. So Doc, Tracy, and Maggie grab weapons so they can hit him with, like, everything they got. Yeah. Whoa, oh my god, a lot is going on. So yeah, apparently Maggie then finds Freddy Krueger without, well, of course, being burnt and tells him that he's sorry about everything. You know Freddy's not sorry, you just know it by now. Freddy is now back to his, well, burnt self, and then, like father, like daughter, he decides to, well, beat her up, but of course she is beating him up, and, like, pinning him all the way to the wall, which, has to hurt. Oh my god, how many weapons do you have? She puts on the Freddy glove and then stabs him. And then after that, Maggie puts a bomb on him. And then Maggie says, Happy Father's Day. Does this movie even take place on Father's Day? Huh, I have no idea. And then we get one more Freddy Krueger one-liner in this movie where Freddy Krueger gets to say, Kids! So yeah, then Freddy Krueger explodes! Oh my god, with a bunch of heads, and then the dream demons? Oh my god, what does this movie become at this point? Whoa, 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 whoa! And then we get to see those 3D glasses one more time, and then the movie ends like this.
Freddy's dead.
Yup, that is the end of me reviewing Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Let me just say, I like this movie. I know it's controversial, but it was so ridiculous. I know, most of the scenes did not make any sense, but it was just so cheesy. I just had a good time with it. Oh my god, it was just one heck of a mess, but yeah, oh my god, it was so crazy. What do you think, Freddy Krueger? I think it was absolutely crazy. I'm glad you finally got to review this movie. I know, right? It was crazy. But, spoiler alert, this is not your last movie, even if it was claimed to be your last movie. I know. I will definitely return for my next movie. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Yes, that is definitely true. So yeah, that's basically the end of me reviewing this movie review. It was crazy. I don't know what else to say about this movie, except that it was pure madness, and I don't know what else to say. Some things were confusing, the kills were creative, Freddy Krueger's one-liners were cheesy. I don't know what else to say. Oh my god. That was a crazy movie. It for sure was. Yes, it was. Alright, well, I guess I have nothing else to say about this. Okay. But one more thing I have to say. What? I'll be coming for you in your dreams. What? Seriously? Yes! Oh, well, I better get out of here. Alright, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next movie review. Oh my god, it's already crazy. This video is 25 minutes long. Well, that's crazy. Okay, well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next movie review. Bye!